just trying to survive and learn to love along the way. By Foreplay on AO3. Episode 13, Chapter 13 of High School and Drama. Shinsou's first day in the hero course does not go as expected. He and Midori have spoken a few times over the weekend since the sports festival, and he's excited to finally be in a class with his friend. It's the first time having a real one. He got concerned when Midoriya stopped answering his texts on Sunday, and now his friend is nowhere to be seen in class. He catches a few of his new classmates casting worried glances towards Midoriya's desk, so that means that no one knows where he is. Right when he's expecting Aizawa-sensei to walk into classroom, Snipe does instead. Snipe-sensei, where's Aizawa-sensei? Does it have to do with Deku-kun? Shinsou thinks that Uraraka is speaking. Eraserhead will not be coming in today. As for Midoriya, don't worry about it. He doesn't give her a chance to answer before beginning class. Shinsou can tell when he's annoyed because every time he is, his hand drifts towards his gun before he stops himself. Shinsou is relieved when Present Mike walks into their classroom. He doesn't want any more unpleasant surprises, and he actually likes the pro hero. He's glad he still gets to learn English from him, instead of being taught by a completely new set of teachers. He's been taught by the pro hero since the beginning of the year, so he's genuinely surprised when his phone rings and the man actually answers it. So, what's up? The little listener done his interview with Tsukuichi? Shinsou eavesdrops with the rest of the class, not even trying to pretend he's not, like some of them are. President Mike's face tightens with worry before he speaks again. Shit, is everything okay? What happened to my listener? His listener. Who in the world could that be? I'm on my way. I just have to get Mineta to cover my next class. I'll be no longer than 15 minutes. Their teacher is leaving? Any sense of normalcy Shinsou was beginning to feel is gone now. Alright, class, I gotta go. Ida, I need you to go to the teacher's lounge and get Mineta to cover the rest of this class. President Mike doesn't give anyone a chance to reply as he's leaving. Nobody misses the concerned glances he throws at Midoriya's seat. Tuesday comes, and Shinsou is worried that Midoriya won't show up again. It's not until the last minute that he does, stumbling into the room right in front of their teacher. His friend has a dark bruise on his cheek and a wrapped up arm, and his face pales even further when their classmates start asking him tons of questions. The day passes, mostly the way he had expected his first day to. It's concerning how pushy Midoriya's friends are being about the origins of his injuries, when it's clear he doesn't want to talk about it. Finding him sitting out in the hero studies and wearing President Mike's headphones is just the icing on the cake. Something's very strange is going on here. He may have to refer to their resident conspiracy theorist. It's on Wednesday that Shinsou thinks he might get some answers. He's at school early, as per usual, but needs to make a stop at the teacher's lounge in hopes that President Mike is there. He may have misplaced some homework that's due today. He knocks softly at the door and is relieved when the hero he's looking for opens it. Mike-sensei, I lost Monday's homework, and I'm wondering if you have any more copies. Sure thing, listener. Come on in while I find the right stuff. President Mike's voice is quieter than it usually is. Maybe it's because of how early it is? He follows Mike-sensei into the room and towards his desk, but he freezes at the sight on the couch. Aizawa-sensei is there, grading work. But that's not the surprising part. What's surprising is the hand he's got in Midoriya's hair. Midoriya, who is curled up on his side with his head on their teacher's thigh. What the fuck? Yes, Shinsou. Did you need something from me? No. He avoids looking at his teacher and keeps staring at Midoriya. He's just like a cat. Shinsou does look up then, and his teacher looks absolutely terrifying, and he stares right at him. Shinsou stumbles back a few paces, immediately regretting his comment. He goes to say something, anything, before President Mike returns and saves him. Here's your missing work, listener. Better get a move on. It's due in a few hours. Shinsou runs at that, needing to escape the teacher's lounge as quickly as possible. Shinsou is not surprised that he's still the first one to the homeroom, even with the pit stop at the teacher's lounge. What does surprise him is when Midoriya stumbles in with Aizawa-sensei a few minutes later, wearing a bright sweater that is not part of the uniform, and that he definitely did not take note when Midoriya was curled up like a cat on the teacher. He looks absolutely terrible. Aizawa-sensei spares Shinsou a glance, and he shrinks a little in his seat as the man slips into his sleeping bag. Returning his look to Midoriya, Shinsou speaks when Midoriya is close enough to hear his quiet voice. "Midoriya, are you okay?" Instead of replying verbally, he raises shaking hands and sighs. "Had a bad night." "Are you sick?" "It's just a fever. I'll be fine." Just a fever? Why is he even at school? Midoriya guesses his question before he could ask. "I can't be home alone, so I came to school where the tired cat and loud cat can keep an eye on me." Tired cat and loud cat? Who are they? Midoriya frowns before fingerspelling. Aizawa and Mike Sensei. Well, he should have guessed that. It's painfully obvious now that he knows. The real question is, why does Midoriya have sign names like that for their teachers? Ida barged into the room before he could ask, and veers straight for them. "Midoriya, that is not school-appropriate uniform. You should go change at once. I'm sure Aizawa-sensei will not approve." "I don't care. Tired Cat's the one who told me to wear this." That startles a laugh out of Shinsou, and Midoriya gives him a small smile while Ida just looks confused. "Midoriya, I clearly don't understand what you are saying, so I ask that you use your words." Ida is doing these odd chopping motions as he speaks, so Shinsou decides to annoy him even further. Enji sure looks annoyed. "How long do you think it would take before he sicks Tired Cat on us?" That gets a loud laugh out of Midoriya, and even he looks surprised at that. Ida looks like he's about to complain again when Bakugou shoves the door open, frowning at the group behind his desk. Midoriya shrinks back from him as he draws near, and Bakugou rolls his eyes as he takes a seat. Shinsou notices Aizawa-sensei watching the interaction, but doesn't say anything. "Midoriya, if you do not have a uniform, I will have a spare shirt in my locker. We have time to grab it before class starts." "Can you make him go away? Words are hard today." Izuku isn't looking at him when he signs, but glances at his hands when he taps the desk. "Sure thing, baby cat." Izuku looks at his face at the sign name, eyes wide and confused. "If Aizawa and Mike are Tired Cat and Loud Cat, then you are Baby Cat." Izuku nods and ducks his head, a light blush coating his cheeks. "Ida, Midoriya says that Sensei is fine with a sweatshirt. Can we drop this now?" "Surely Sensei wouldn't be okay with this. This is a direct violation of the dress code, and even you should know by now that he's a stickler for rules." "Ida." And that's Aizawa-sensei rising from his sleeping bag. "Sensei, I am so sorry about Midoriya, sir. I was just about to make him change." "Take your seat, Ida." Shinsou doesn't think he's ever seen someone move so fast without using a quirk. Pretty soon after that, the rest of the class is joining them, many stopping to gawk at Midoriya as they enter. They shut their mouths pretty quickly when they notice the look Shinsou gives them. Aizawa-sensei then pulls a move nobody would expect him to. He puts on a movie. It's still an educational one, something about history of quirks, and the class is assigned an essay for after the movie, but Shinsou is too busy watching Midoriya fall asleep to care. Sensei then pulls another move nobody expects. Instead of curling up in his sleeping bag, he sits wide awake and watches the class, mostly Midoriya. Shinsou catches the eye on one of his glances around and takes a risk. "Is Baby Cat okay?" His teacher raises an eyebrow at the name, but answers nonetheless. "You'll be fine. I'm sure of it." Reassured, Shinsou returns his gaze to Midoriya, still sound asleep. Oh my god. Shinsou POV? I was shocked. I was shocked when I saw that. I'm still shocked. Hold up. What's the name of the next chapter? I didn't do that last time. I don't think I'd give it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Chapter 14 of Sickness and Inquiries. Summary. Shinsou whisked Midoriya away to hide for lunch and learn some startling truths about his friend. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I think the next one is people are going to be continuously asking Izuku questions about, hey, why aren't you wearing the uniform? Why is Aizawa-sensei not mad about that? What about your injuries? You look a little sick. Are you okay? Why are you at school? Blah, 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 right? And then Izuku gets whisked away by Shinsou. Shinsou's like, hey, you good. Doesn't pressure Izuku to talk, and so Izuku talks. That's the thing. Do not pressure people to talk. They will talk on their own time. I cannot stress that enough. Like, I always tell my friends, hey, you're having a bad day. Do you want to talk? Do you want a distraction? Do you want me to leave you alone? Do you want space, right? That's always my whole thing. Talk, space, distraction. I always, like, when I always see a friend, like, who is distraught in an emotional state, I always ask them, space, distraction, or talk, right? Do you guys want to talk about it? Do you want to tell me what happened and I talk to you back? And if you do want to tell me, do you want me just to listen, or do you want my advice and my help? Or do you just want me to sit here and do the commentary? Like, oh yeah, I understand how you feel. That could be, hard, and not tell you advice, because sometimes we don't want to hear about advice. We just want someone to listen and commentary. Do you want space? Because if so, I can give you space. You just come to me and that'll be it. I'll make sure that, people don't bother you. And if you need a distraction, fuck yeah, I could distract you. It was something that I always did, specifically for this one friend who I often had those situations. And sometimes when they said, oh, I don't know, I was like, okay, let's try. Let's try distraction first, and then let's try this, and then let's try that. Let's see what you work with first, right? Stuff like that. Which is, again, you do not force someone to talk. Like, it's one thing to say, hey, if you want, I am available and I'm an open ear that you could that would hear you, right? That you could talk to and I will hear. But you don't have to. Just know that I am an option. Let the friend know that you are an option, but don't force them to choose you and choose that option, right? Sometimes you aren't ready to talk about stuff, right? And this goes to you guys as well. Like, if you see a friend who's, upset about something, right? I'm not necessarily saying, like, give them their space immediately, but hey, ask them, hey, do you want space? Do you want me to give you a distraction? Like, do you need space from me and from people, and you just need to be in your own right now? Do you need to talk through your feelings? If so, do you need advice? Or do you want me to just listen? And if they choose distraction, okay, yeah, I can distract you from what's making you feel bad, and we could just ignore that thing is happening completely, and we could just, I don't know, play a game, talk about your favorite show, talk about fan fiction and stuff like that. It's a stuff. It's what I would love if somebody would ask me when I'm, like, emotionally distraught, like, hey, do you want space? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want a distraction? Most of the time I either choose talk or distraction. It's really rare when I use space. Although sometimes I do need space, but normally I'm only pushed onto wanting space when you're pushing so much in either trying to distract me or trying to talk to me, when clearly that's not what I want, right? Like, somebody clearly trying to distract me when I'm trying to talk about what happened and you're not listening, or you're not listening and watching out for the clues and stuff like that, or when I literally don't want to talk about it. I keep changing the subject and the person keeps talking about it. That's when I'm like, okay, you know what? I need space from you. That's it. I need space from you. You lost your echo privileges. Get out. Stuff like that. So, it's never good to push someone, because the more you push someone to talk to you, the less likely they're gonna do it. It's more likely that they're no longer going to see you as a valuable option to talk to, right? So I think that's what's going to happen. Shinsou is going to be that person, because he seems to be the only person. He asks, but when he sees that Izuku doesn't want to talk about it, he's like, okay, all right, yeah, that's good. We'll talk about it. So, very interesting. I feel like Shinsou's also going to find out about the whole living with Aizawa and Mike situation. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be interesting. So I can't wait for the next chapter for that. So, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.